Shadow of Mordor review. Loved it. You'll love it too. Go pick it up. You won't be disappointed. Guys, I am serious. Shadow of Mordor, there's a reason why it won so many Game of the Year awards. It was really between this and Dragon Age Inquisition for 2014, and there's a reason why there was a debate about this. This game is going to change games, hopefully. Hopefully other games watch reviews, learn from gamers, and start changing shit for the better, because this game is awesome. You need to pick it up, or else you're going to regret it. So you play as Talion. This guy, if you haven't figured it out by now. He's a ranger. He got exiled. His wife, kid came with him. They live on like an outpost kind of near Mordor. Ends up being a pretty bad move. Bad things happen to them. Don't want to give up the story too much. You end up dead. You're combined with this wraith elf. He used to be an elf, now he's dead. Now he's a wraith elf. It goes into your body, tells you that this curse from the Black Hand bonded you two together for eternity until you guys can lift the curse and die peacefully. Go join your family, you can go join his. So the main plot of this game is to go and kill the Black Hand, free yourself, and kind of avenge what happened to you and your family. Now the first thing you might notice about playing this game, and the controls and the angles and the combat, is, yes, it is very Assassin's Creed-like, Batman, Arkham City-like. But that's not a bad thing. One, those are two really great games, really great franchises. And it takes the good things and it adds so many more original things that make this game stand out, in which those two games could learn a lot from. It is a bit funny though that the game literally opens with you doing a leap of faith off of a tower that you just unlocked in order to give you a view of your surroundings that lets you see all these little mini-map and mission type things. So, kind of a strange way to start your game when you already know you're going to get accused of stealing from Assassin's Creed. The main missions are pretty solid, and it is a bit of an expected plot path. You just build your way up, work your way, meet friends, make some enemies along the way, I suppose, and just work your way up to taking out the Black Hand by killing off smaller captains and bigger captains, and then eventually war chiefs. Some of the main missions, though, are really strange, and I don't know, that's where you see it taking from Assassin's Creed. Just these really dopey ideas that I don't understand why you would introduce into a game this badass. There was one mission particularly, this is not a spoiler, where you are picking flowers. You're just fucking picking flowers, walking around with an old ranger buddy that you had, and he's talking about how much of a badass you are and how he has you doing all the hard work and you're such a better ranger guy, and yet he has you fucking picking up flowers while he fights off orcs. I don't understand what that was all about. That was really strange.
You're proving yourself to be a strong leader for a deserter.
That is only because I leave the hard work to men like you.
Another really strange mission was when you are taking out this really important monument to Sauron in order to call out the Black Hand. And you end up pushing this cart full of gunpowder, right? To go blow up this wall, which you spent a couple missions trying to get the gunpowder. That makes sense, except for the fucking cart is on fire. It is covered in flames while you're trying to push it. As you're pushing a flaming cart of gunpowder. I don't understand what the idea of that was. That was kind of silly. But as a whole, the missions are really solid. A lot of them can be really fun and interesting. They change up stuff a lot, even if it is from picking flowers to being a badass. But, on the most part, they are pretty good. This is really what the game's all about, right? It's this Nemesis system, this completely new idea that Shadow of Mordor has brought to gaming, which hopefully other games will run with and implement them. Like some of the people it supposedly stole from. Assassin's Creed, these could all be Templars. Batman, these could all be famous villains, right? It would be so cool to watch all the dynamics that you took a part of in those games, take some notes. But here, you get to see all of Sauron's army, right? You got the war chiefs up top, and all these captains of different ranks and levels and stuff like that. Each one of them has different power levels and different abilities. When you zoom in on one, first thing you're going to see is amazing, amazing artwork. Whoever did this, awesome job, keep it up. Over here, you see all of the different things that he's afraid of, his weaknesses, and his strengths, stuff that you need to watch out for. This will make your experience a lot easier, and could be a lot more rewarding. Or, of course, you can always just run in, swords blazing and just try and hack your way, or you can try and be a little more intelligent in your approach, base it off of what he's strong and weak at. If you zoom out, you're going to see these different connections. See, he has a different fight with this guy's fighting with somebody else, and if you go to the war chief, you can actually see who his bodyguards are. All this stuff is what you're going to be using to try and go through the game, to try and play it smarter, but also to make it feel a lot more realistic. Feel like this is a real living army that you're fighting against. The Nemesis system is obviously a cool idea, but the way it's actually implemented in gameplay is what will blow your mind. What had me jumping and running around the house amazed at how engrossed I was with these NPCs. These aren't real players. And yet you develop such a rivalry, such a hatred for some of them, as they constantly taunt you after some of your interactions. They'll say stuff specific to your weaknesses, to how you attack them. If you rode in on a Caragor, talk about how they're going to kill it and kill you next. If you come by yourself, all these different things. If you're using slaves to help you, all these different things that are customized to your interaction with them that they're going to bring up. It makes you think this is more than just a computer program. Some of them will be weak to stealth finishers, for example, where you can kill him in one move if you're able to sneak past all of his guards and get to him. Some are weak to range. You can take him out with a nice headshot. A lot of them won't be, though. What's worse is that you might not just run into one captain at a time. They kind of hang out together somewhat. I mean, there's main places where you're going to see a lot more orcs than others. Obviously, in their little orc shanty towns, there's going to be more of them than out in the regular fields. So if you go in there and try and take out one guy, before you know, you got 2, 3, maybe even 4 captains, which are all trying to jump you. And if you do die, they'll all gain experience from that. Whoever killed you gains the most and will be promoted instantly, but they all get more strength. Perhaps they get even more abilities. The increased strength and increased abilities makes it so the next time you go to fight that same guy, he's going to be even stronger. The odds of him killing you are even higher now, which means you got to work harder, which makes the reward, if you do kill him, even more intense. My rival was just a little grunt captain, lower level kind of guy who was just a regular archer. And I was in a big fight with a bunch of other guys. I think I was with other captains too. And he got me with the arrow, died from the arrow. He went up one rank, said, alright, let me go take him out. Nobody kills me. I'm a badass. Took him out. I went to go take him out. He killed me again. Brought up that he killed me before. I was a little confused why I was alive. That's intense. He brought it up again. Killed me a 3rd time, 4th time, 5th time. I don't know how many times he killed me. Eventually he was stronger than a war chief. And on top of that, his arrows, he now had an ability where he could shoot exploding fire arrows, which might seem a bit impossible to take over, but eventually, I kept trying again and again and again. I was able to kill him, and that feeling where you get him down and just boom, execute, chop his head off, rolling in the air, spitting orc blood everywhere, is both so gratifying but also a little sad, because you realize that you spent so much time in this game pursuing this guy, pursuing this character forever, and you guys kept building a relationship in a way where he would taunt you, and it felt so personal, even though it was just a random NPC character. But it felt more intense than some of the real rivalries you'll develop playing online with some people. This is a more genuine hatred, a more genuine rivalry with this essential computer program. Another thing that stands out about this game is its amazing pacing. It's one of the most well-paced games that I've played in a long time. Every time you do something cool, you realize there's another thing that you could do if you just work a little bit harder, kill a couple more orcs, take out a couple more captains. You'll unlock even more things for your sword or your dagger or your bow that you're going to want to use and that actually feel real. A lot of games have unlocks. A lot of games have these charts, right? These progression charts. But sometimes it feels kind of empty. You feel kind of like you don't even need it, especially in easier games. Like I said, you will be dying a lot in this game. So when you get that extra couple arrows, you can maintain your focus for a couple more seconds. When you can have another last chance, right? All those things feel so much more powerful, and it makes you want to keep on playing to get that reward. More so than a lot of games I've played in recent memory. You'll eventually unlock the ability to ride on all the crazy wildlife that you're going to see running around the hellhole that is Mordor. You're going to take control of them and you're going to use them against the captains. Some of them are afraid of the Caragors, right? That big beast dog-like thing. Some of them, though, are enraged by them, get pissed off, get even stronger, even harder to fight, just at the sight of one. Which is kind of crazy when you think about it. You'll be able to unlock the ability to string together these executions, right? Based on the amount of hits you get, you can do these badass decapitations, or knockdowns, or shoot a fire arrow at them. Cool stuff like that. If you use the bow a lot like I did, you're going to love the ability that you get later on in the game to aim and teleport and knock somebody's head off and just string it together, just execution after execution, taking down whole groups of orcs. It's incredibly powerful, and that's really what this game is all about. One-man army, taking down Sauron. Fucking cool. And like I said before, great pacing. Once you start unlocking all these different things, you're progressing in the story, tension's building up, you finally get this crazy ability to not only interact with these orcs and execute them, change their whole kind of hierarchy in their military, but now you can brand them. You can mind control them and have them work for you to fight each other, to create all these battles and power struggles that will eventually eat away at the war machine from the inside. This is a surreal and awesome feeling when you walk in with your orc boys into a group of other orcs and just start slaying them shoulder to shoulder with these orcs that you've been fighting against the whole time. Now these big ugly bastards are your brethren and fighting and protecting you. It was a crazy feeling. And now the game goes from being, it just takes on this whole dynamic. It's just a game about fighting orcs and killing them, and it looks beautiful and it's fun to play, right? But now that you can brand them, you have this guy fight another guy to become his bodyguard, and now that he's a war chief's bodyguard, you know that you can make him turn on him at the right moment, take the war chief out a lot easier. All these little tiny different ways that you can make your game play so much different than anybody else. It's just amazing. The replayability on this game is one of the highest that I've had in so long. That being said, I really hate that this video has to take this turn. But you're going to hate it even more when you do play and you do see what kind of happens toward the ends of this game. It kind of drops off. I don't know if it was rushed to release or what happened, but like I said, the pacing was so well throughout the whole entire game, except for the very, very end, those last couple hours. It just feels rushed. You meet this really cool dwarf who you fight with and you go on this whole big adventure with, and it's really nice, and then that's just cut short. And not only is it cut short, the monster that you've finally been chasing this whole time, that has this really deep relationship to the dwarf, you kill him using a quick time event. Of all things, like, why would you? Who thought it made sense to make one of the most badass creatures in the game be fought with a quick time event, where he comes in? It's literally stuff from old PS1 games, where he comes at you, you dodge, he hits the wall, quick time event. Comes at you, you dodge, quick time event. You do that 3 times and boom, he's dead. What was that? Why is it more rewarding to go fight just any small group of orcs or hunt down just a measly low-level captain than it is to fight the most intense looking, crazy, evil creature in the game? I don't understand that. And then you could say, alright, that's not even like a main story mission, you didn't have to do it, it's technically a side mission, even though it's a pretty big side mission. Still, side mission. What about the main story? Does it end strong? And again, no. And even worse, again, a quick time event. How could you do that to us? Come on. You guys prevented us with one of the greatest innovations in gaming, I hope, which is the Nemesis system. That took so much creativity. And then, I'm just going to say, even if it is a spoiler, when you do fight Sauron, which you do, why do you just have a short, even shorter than the giant monster, even shorter quick time event fighting Sauron? And then the game's over, and then, even worse, when the game is over, Talion stands up there all proud, overlooking all of Mordor, and his wraith eyes are glowing, and you see this power, it builds up, and he says what literally could be printed on the bottom of like a DLC packaging. He's like talking about how he wants to take over. We've just begun. We need to make new rings. And then 2 DLCs come out right after that. Come on, guys. And this ending took me by surprise. I was really like stunned. I sat here playing it for days, weeks, playing this game, totally immersed, totally like smile on my face the whole time, just jumping, yeah, getting excited, fighting these guys, taking these guys down. New cool thing unlocked, detail into everything. They got artifacts. I didn't even talk about the artifacts. All these little side treasures that you can spend time collecting. All these little awesome things that you can tell this team put so much time into. And then an ending which was made by a cheap, stupid game 10 years ago. I don't understand how that happens. I sat there for, I don't know how long, just staring at the screen. I mean, how is that what happened? How was that the end of this awesome roller coaster ride? But look, the frustration comes from my love of this game. From all the things that it did right, it took me by an even bigger surprise when they did something so wrong. Hopefully this gets corrected in the sequel, which I really, really, really hope is going to happen soon. A real sequel, not DLC, alright? An actual another game, which we're going to fix all these little weird things that you did wrong and keep and improve on these amazing, industry-changing, creative things that you guys brought to this game. So guys, you need to support this game, games like it. I know I hate supporting games that DLC bait too. I don't know what kind of internal politics brought that to happen. I really want to believe that a game company like this wouldn't really want to do something like that. I feel that they were disappointed at what happened towards the end of the game, as everybody else was who probably played this game. But I want them to be proud and love, and you guys are going to love it too, what they did throughout the entirety of the main chunk of this game. And this whole Nemesis system, which really could be a game by itself, let's be honest. Let alone the extra stuff that you get when you beat the game, all these trials of war, all these different little challenges that you get to do that gets the replayability even higher, on top of all the stuff that I said before that. You can just be playing this game for a very, very long time. And it's all creative, it's all really new, almost all. So I think you guys should pick it up. My score? I gotta say, there's a reason why I got Game of the Year, and I haven't given a game a rating this high in a very long time. I'm gonna have to go 9.6 out of 10. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe, like, all that stuff's help us stay in the biz, keeps us playing these great games, keeps us telling you about it, saves you guys money, lets you know where to put your time and effort. PokeShack out.